Vladimir Putin's $1.4 billion estate on the coast of the Black Sea is a modern-day Versailles. On the expansive grounds of the 170-acre property, you'll find 2 helipads, a hockey rink, a church, a tea house, greenhouse, and most impressively, a heavily guarded secret palace. Putin's palace is surrounded by a 20-foot-tall fence and miles of heavy forest. The estate is impossible to get into, and it's flanked by a secluded coastline and mountain range. Boats aren't even allowed anywhere near the coastline of Putin's property. You're about to go where few have gone before. Here's a look at Putin's lavish secret palace. Before we head inside Putin's 17,691 square meter palace, let's take a tour of the exterior grounds. Behind Putin's palace sits a stunning arboretum. As we pass through, you'll see $5 million worth of rare trees not native to Russia. Once you reach the end of the arboretum, you'll be standing in front of a sculpture garden with busts of famous Russian political figures. Oh, let's head west over to Putin's 2,500 square meter greenhouse. Inside the $4 million greenhouse, it's a bit much, you'll notice Putin's collection of exotic flowers and plants. Here's a shocking fact. Putin spends $2 million a year on a 40-person team of gardeners and landscapers. Okay, let's keep walking north and look at other buildings on Putin's property. You'll notice a striking Orthodox church and a tea house. Let's follow the access road that leads to Putin's helipads. There are 2 of them right beside a large grassy mound. You might think that's just a hill, but there's something incredible underneath. Grab your winter coat, because we're going to take a look inside Putin's KHL-size hockey rink. Hey, who knows, maybe we'll even spot him playing a game. As we continue to head north along the winding road, you'll see garages, a communication tower, staff buildings, a gas station, and the 20-foot-tall fence at the back of the property. Let's walk all the way back to Putin's mansion and go inside. The first thing you'll notice is how striking the mansion is. Those Roman-style columns really stand out. That large imperial eagle ornament on the wrought iron gate is solid gold. As we pass through the gate, we'll enter the courtyard garden. If you look around, you'll notice perfectly manicured hedges shaped like hearts. That's nice. The fountain in the middle of the courtyard exudes elegance, doesn't it? As we exit the courtyard and head inside, you'll see that the hallways are adorned with gold accents and eagle insignias. Let's swing open those large doors and look inside Putin's Anthenium room. The room is used as a meeting area. You'll notice that the roof is covered in Renaissance-style watercolor murals and that the walls are adorned with rare artwork in gold. Putin spent over $5 million to have the pieces commissioned. If you look up, you'll see 2 large crystal chandeliers worth about $200,000 each. Let's walk down the hallway and enter Putin's music room. Perhaps we'll catch a glimpse of him performing a sonata on his grand piano. Putin's gym is located on the opposite end of the first floor, and as we continue down the hallway, we'll pass by 6 bedrooms filled with luxury Italian furniture made by Pizzoli. Let's head through those massive swinging doors and look at Putin's dining room. You'll notice $500,000 of luxury Italian furniture and a $54,000 bar table. Let's keep walking down the hallway and head inside Putin's bar room. There's over $100,000 worth of rare spirits here. The doors at the end of the room lead to Putin's auditorium. As we head inside, you'll notice that it's actually 2 stories tall and expands into the upper level of the palace. As we head upstairs to the upper level of the palace, we'll enter Putin's master bedroom. If you look to the right, you'll see a $27,000 Pizzoli leather sofa and a $27,000 dressing table. There's an 8K TV hidden inside the cabinet at the base of Putin's canopy bed. As we exit the bedroom and continue down the hallway, you'll notice skylights on the roof that bring in a lot of natural light. This floor has 4 spare bedrooms, which are also filled with expensive Italian furniture. These doors lead to Putin's $10 million casino room, or as he likes to call it, the Hall of Entertaining. If you look over there, you'll notice the slot machines and poker table. At the far end of the room, you'll notice the craps table and roulette wheels. Last but not least is the Baccarat table. Chinese dignitaries that meet with Putin can't get enough Baccarat, just in case you were wondering. Let's head down the hallway into the hookah room. This room is filled with velvet furniture, and at the center of the room, you'll notice a small center stage where dancers can put on a show for Putin and visiting dignitaries. Let's take the elevator down the basement. As we head to the west side of the basement, we'll enter a room that houses Putin's $10 million swimming pool. There's a spa area directly connected to this room that houses massage tables and a sauna. Let's head down the hallway into the Turkish bath. This is where Middle Eastern dignitaries visiting Putin can relax. Something I don't want to picture. Further down the hallway is a room that houses plunge tubs. This is where Putin relaxes his muscles after playing hockey. Another thing I don't want to picture. As we continue towards the west side of the basement level, we'll enter the Aqua Discotheque. This unique room is both a bathhouse and a bar room. Putin and his guests can enjoy a drink around the fountain. As we head to the east side of the basement level, we'll pass by staff rooms and storage rooms. Through these doors is the kitchen area where chefs prepare Putin's meals. The finest ingredients are flown in from all over Russia. As we head down to the hallway to the south side of the basement level, we'll enter Putin's cinema room, where he enjoys watching classic movies. Right next door is the wine cellar and wine tasting room. It's filled with $1 million worth of rare wine. Follow me through the hidden passageway. Let's head through the underground tunnels and exit onto the beach.
In June 2021, Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Geneva, Switzerland to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden for the first time as world leaders. While Biden landed with Air Force One, we got to see what Russia's equivalent is like. And today, we're going to delve deeper into this stunning plane. We'll see all the luxury extras and the costs the jet has to offer, such as the gym, a bar, and a gold toilet. We'll even take a look at Air Force One to see how they match up. On top of this, we'll explore the limousine that Putin uses to travel the land. So, let's get started. The plane that Vladimir Putin flies in is the Ilyushin IL-96-300PU, which is a modified version of the IL-96-300. Fun fact, the PU at the end of the model name stands for Punkt Upravlenia, which translates as Control Center. The planes were designed by Ilyushin and manufactured by Voronezh Aircraft Plant. The IL-96-300 was first designed in the late 80s, nearing the end of the Soviet Union. It was released for commercial use in 1992. Not long after, the Russian president at the time, Boris Yeltsin, had a 300 PU inducted into presidential service. The plane used by Putin has even been nicknamed the Flying Kremlin. According to reports, Putin doesn't just have one Ilyushin 300 PU for use. Instead, he has 5. According to some reports, when Putin is traveling via plane, all 5 are prepared at the same time. Putin then picks one to use. Other higher-ups in the government also have access to the fleet of planes. In the past, Russian leaders have also used a Ilyushin IL-62, a Tupolev Tu-154, and a Yakovlev Yak-40 aircraft. All the presidential aircraft are operated by Rossiya. As a result, most of the planes are colored white with red lettering. The reports on the cost of Putin's 300 PU vary wildly. Some state the jet only cost $70 million, while other sources declare the price to be a whopping $550 million. Considering the number of modifications and the luxurious interior, the price is likely to be at the higher end of the estimates. In 2018, the world got a rare look within Putin's plane when Arslan Kaypkulov was invited on board. This opportunity came via Russia's Dream With Me project that helps children with life-threatening conditions with their ambitions. For the teenage Kaypkulov, it was to make a film on board the presidential Ilyushin. The camera he used was even gifted to him by Putin. He wasn't able to see everything on the plane as some parts were kept secret, but he did get a look at some of the features that we will be examining. While the exact technical specs aren't disclosed due to security reasons, we do know what the unmodified jets are capable of. The IL-96-300 can hit 560 miles per hour. It has a range of 7,145 miles. Putin's plane is equipped with advanced communication systems and missile countermeasures, like most jets belonging to world leaders. Perhaps the most unusual aspect you'd expect to find on a presidential plane is the gold-laden bathroom. Even the sink and toilet are covered in the expensive substance. According to reports in 2012, the toilet alone was estimated to cost $75,000. However, considering the price of similar gold toilets, it could be worth more. One gold toilet called America was sculpted by Italian artist Maurizio Cattelan. Stored at Winston Churchill's birthplace of Blenheim Palace, it was stolen in 2019. It was said to be worth $6 million. If he wants to take another picture on top of a horse, Putin will probably want to be in good shape. So his plane has a gym. It has 3 cross trainers. They can cost up to $3,000 each. There's also a treadmill, a weights bench, and a punching bag. If looking to relax, Putin can grab something from his very own bar. It's even apparently stocked with high-priced beverages. Just building a bar in a house can cost over $20,000 according to experts, so this bar could cost even more. Next, we have the main conference room nicknamed Board Number 1. The room features several cream-colored leather seats, as well as an elegant table with gold trim, where Putin controls Russia from the skies. The plane also contains a master bedroom with a king-size bed and a 108-square-foot office. The interior design was put together by artist Ivan Glazunov. Joe Biden arrived at the Geneva meeting in his Boeing 747-200B. Given the Air Force designation of VC-25A, Air Force One actually consists of two planes with the tail codes of 28000 and 29000, respectively. While the jet has less of a range compared to the 300 PU of 7,883 miles, the feature of mid-air refueling allows it to have an unlimited range. The plane is protected from electromagnetic attacks whilst the windows are armored. Split between 3 levels, VC-25A has around 4,000 square feet of floor space for the president to enjoy. Other amenities include a flying oval office, a gym, a conference room, and the master bedroom. There's even an operating room with a doctor permanently on board. The galleys are said to be able to prepare up to 2,000 meals. The interior for the plane was originally designed by former First Lady Nancy Reagan. The current Air Force One planes were originally delivered in 1990 and reportedly cost $325 million each. Today, that's the same as $676 million each. It's also said that the planes cost $210,877 per hour to operate. The new version will be introduced into the fleet in December 2024. After all, the current fleet is old and it's getting difficult to find parts when repairs are needed. The new planes will be given the designation VC-25B. Heavily modified from the Boeing 747-8I, the two jets reportedly cost $3.9 billion collectively. When Putin isn't flying across the skies, he can be found traveling within his luxury limousine to events. The Oris Senat is made by Oris Motors and was developed by the Central Scientific Research Automobile and Automotive Engines Institute, also known as NIAMI. Putin used to import limos from abroad for his use, but in 2018 he first used the modified Russian-made Senat. The original version contained a 4.4-liter V8 engine that could produce 598 horsepower. The vehicle could reach up to 99 miles per hour. According to reports, Putin's version also contains a smaller electric engine that has up to 48 horsepower. The Russian presidential limo was also said to be heavily armored. The reinforced windscreen is 2.4 inches deep. The limo also has run-flat tires to avoid potential problems from them being punctured. There's also an air compressor system to fight off any pathogens looking to invade the vehicle's interior. While enjoying the ride, Putin also has access to a television that can be used for conferences and entertainment. While the exact cost of Putin's limo is unknown, the base model that's set to be released in 2021 cost 18 million rubles, or $245,700.
Vladimir Putin is synonymous with Russia, and he has a net worth of $70 billion at the time of writing this video. If you know anything about billionaires, you know they love yachts. And with that kind of cash, you can bet Putin's got quite a few of these expensive seafaring toys at his disposal. Whether he's trekking out on the Graceful, the Olympia, or maybe he's sailing on the Seagull, Putin relaxes in style. Today, we want to check out his absolutely bonkers yacht collection, which consists of at least 4 yachts. Let the cruise begin. Up first, we would like to introduce you to arguably Putin's most well-known yacht. It also happens to be one of his personal favorites. It's the Olympia, and it's a massive boat. It stretches an incredible 57 meters. That's 187 feet, folks. And it is Putin's go-to place for, get this, business negotiations with some of the world's most important people, as well as with representatives of other countries. What we're saying is, this luxury liner doubles as his boardroom. And what a boardroom it is. Designed by the folks at the Dutch shipyard Feedship. This beautiful vessel was constructed in 2002. The cost? An astonishing $50 million. All in all, the Olympia can handle up to 10 guests and 16 crew members. But don't think for a minute that spending time on the Olympia means that you'll be crammed into a cabin on the lower decks, sharing a bunk with another passenger. Oh no. Here you'll find 10 beautifully furnished cabins that can comfortably house each passenger if need be. Where does Mr. Putin sleep? That would be the aptly named presidential cabin, located on a separate level. And it is literally 1/3 of the width of the ship. Hey, if that doesn't say presidential, we don't know what does. The presidential cabin is constructed out of pink marble, giving it a look that not only screams head honcho, but also looks absolutely stunning against the backdrop of the sea. In all the cabins, you'll find the latest in appliances. And of course, they are all furnished too. But if you're looking to relax with your friends, you'll want to head on up to the deck that has a fully functional jacuzzi, which goes for around $3,299. As well as a bar. We'd love to tell you more about what can be found on the interior of the Olympia, but it's actually kept as a state secret by Putin and his team. However, we can tell you that experts have put the cost of outfitting the interior of this vessel at millions of dollars. Honestly, we really aren't all that surprised. Next up, we want to show off the Graceful. This steel and aluminum colossus is powered by a pair of massive 3,100 horsepower diesel engines that push twin screws. Just how big is the Graceful from front to back? 82 meters. That's 269 feet. That classifies this beauty as a super yacht, and frankly, we don't think it should be described as anything but super. On the Graceful, up to 14 guests can be comfortably housed, and believe it or not, this ship can also house up to 24 crew members. But we should point out that there are only 6 rooms. There's the largest room, the master suite, 2 VIP staterooms, and 3 guest cabins. But while there may not be the privacy that was found on the aforementioned Olympia, this ship makes up for it tenfold. On the Graceful, you'll find one of the most unique amenities ever built on a yacht, a 50-foot by 10-foot indoor pool that at the flip of a switch can be converted into a dance floor. Comparable pools can go for just around $10,000, but that dance floor feature? Yeah, that's something only billionaires of the world can afford. Billionaires like Vladimir Putin. The other standout feature of this yacht is that it has some of the most stunning uncovered areas on the decks that give fully panoramic views of the surroundings. There's also a rather impressive flight deck on the Graceful that, when you compare it to the size of the ship, it's actually one of the biggest flight decks, ratio-wise, out there. How much did this ship cost, Mr. Putin? A stunning $100 million. But that's only the half of it. The annual running costs for the Graceful have been released, and they come to a whopping $5 to $10 million. What can we say? If you want to own a yacht, you better hit the jackpot. Here's yet another yacht you'll find Mr. Putin on. It's known as the Chaikya, which, when translated, means seagull. It was built in 2009 by the Turkish shipyard Protexin Turquoise. And when it was first launched, it went by another name, Leo Fun. This ship is interesting because, technically, according to documents from the Russian Maritime Register of Shipping, the Seagull belongs to the state supply company of the administrative department of Putin. This is likely due to the fact that in 2011, the Russian government bought this boat for Putin so that he would be able to host his guests in style during the Sochi 2012 Winter Olympics. The Seagull is a fully functional seafaring vessel and is capable of transatlantic voyages. This yacht can even handle expeditions of over 4,000 miles. The steel hull of the ship comes to 53.7 meters, and it can top out at speeds of up to 17 knots. The fuel tanks are also quite large, so they can be ready for any spur-of-the-moment long-term cruises. They are outfitted to hold 10,000 liters of fuel. Wow. As far as guests and accommodations go, the Seagull is nothing to sneeze at. 12 guests can comfortably fit in the ship's staterooms, and there can be a maximum onboard crew of 11. Inside, you'll find a 100 square meter dining room, a swimming pool, a jacuzzi, a gym, and even a barbecue area. When it all comes down to it, this ship costs quite a pretty penny. Hey, what did you expect from a yacht used by one of the richest men on the planet? Reports put this boat's price tag between 30 and 40 million euros. That's between $34,855,500 and $46,474,000. But with that kind of cost, you know you're going to get your money's worth. Like the Graceful, the Seagull has some of the most incredible outdoor spaces found on luxury yachts. And another standout feature of this ship is the fact that it can easily host events. That's a good thing when you're the leader of Russia. Our last yacht we want to give you the scoop on is actually the one we know the least about. That's mainly due to the fact that it is the smallest of the bunch and likely the one least used by President Putin. It's the Petrel, and it's a 35-meter vessel with a max speed of 14 knots and a cruising speed of 10 knots. The Petrel can house 16 passengers with its beautifully furnished cabins, which each come with their own private balcony. On board, you'll also find a lounge, fantastic areas for socializing, and a sun deck complete with its own jacuzzi. There's enough space to house 12 crew. And while we couldn't find an exact price for the Petrel, we can tell you that the similarly sized Princess 35-meter Samba Supermotor Super is $16,846,535. Even Putin's smaller yacht has a hefty price tag. Hey, before we go, there's another yacht we want to show you, and it's called the Eclipse. For a while, many people speculated that this was also owned by Mr. Putin. But turns out, this boat is owned by his friend, Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich, who is worth $18 billion. It's one of the most incredible yachts we've ever seen at 533 feet and valued at $400 million to $500 million. Honestly, with how stunning this one is, we see why Putin spends so much time on it. Must be a nice change of pace from his other yachts, and from his fleet of 58 aircrafts, and his RS Senate limousine, the equivalent of President Joe Biden's presidential vehicle known as the Beast. Seems like Putin has plenty of ways to travel in style. Thanks for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed today's video all about Putin's incredible yachts. We will see you next time, right here on The Richest.